This morning, I came to visit my mother because she promised me we could make frizzelles when it was cold. So it's cold outside.
Yeah, and inside too.
Exactly. So we're going to turn the oven on. Now, mind you, my mother has air conditioning in this house, forced air in the house that my father put in. Anyways, now I just told her that I bought the flour, the white flour and the wheat flour for the frizzelles. And she forgot to tell me we needed yeast. So she just told me now that that's stupid of me because I should know that it needs yeast. How am I supposed to know this? What kind of look is that? How am I supposed to know this?
It's when you make bread or you make anything like you need yeast.
When have I ever made bread?
Doesn't make any difference. It's common, it's stupid knowledge. Everybody knows that.
Well, everybody isn't me. So I had no idea. So we're going to see how today's going to go. So, Mom, I've never made yeast before. Dough before. So how would I know that it needed yeast?
Did you ever see me make bread?
I don't pay attention.
Oh, wow.
I am so sorry.
And the pizza dough.
You need yeast too.
Oh, because I buy my pizza dough. And when we made the pasta dough, we didn't put
You don't
yeast.
need yeast.
So that's how come when I tried to make the pizza years ago with Shauna across the street, that's why it didn't rise, because it was noodle dough. Anyways, I forgot. So now I got the yeast, so now we're finally going to get started. We're starting to make the dough, which I've never made dough before, as you guys just heard. So my mother is getting warm water, and then we're going to pick between the yeast that I bought, because I had no idea we even need yeast. So I got the active dry yeast and the rapid rise yeast. I think the difference is one has sugar. I don't know. So my mother doesn't do things by recipe. Use 2 cups of this, 1 cup of that, 1 tablespoon of this. So we'll see what ends up happening and which yeast she uses and the percentages. I think she's going to do it by feel, that she could feel if the dough is wet enough or dry enough, etc. So which yeast are you going to use? One has sugar in it, I think, and one you have to add sugar. I think.
What's the date?
It expires next year or 2 years from now. September.
Not 2 years.
Stop moving. Stop moving. September 22. They're not old. You always think that I get old things.
September. What is now?
21. We're in 21 in May. So that's next September. The same thing. So she's going to pick by using the date. This one is October 22. So 1 month apart. Next year, Mom. So you're picking it by the date, not because of how to use it?
You want it fast or you want it slow?
Well, I'm here all day. How long is it fast? You know, I could have gotten a ready pre-made dough from Trader Joe's. We should have used that. I should have just used that.
Normally, my dough rises in a half an hour.
I know. So if this is the super fast one, it's going to rise in 15 minutes. That's because you have a heavy hand.
15 minutes.
Well, the house is cold, though. So we're going to use the fast one.
Why don't you feel how this water is?
It says it's supposed to be lukewarm.
Ew.
Oh, it's nice, like a bath.
Is it okay?
Like I know.
Well, you said you're looking at it.
It said lukewarm, like I know. So you're using how many packages? How many frizzelles are we making?
I don't know.
Oh my God, people. Well, I bought 5 pounds of wheat flour, and I have the leftover flour that we used for the, what did we make? Gnocchi? No, we made noodles, and I bought 5 more pounds. So we'll come back when we find out how much yeast we're going to be making and how many frizzelles. It was me. I hit the pans. So of course my mother looks to see what I broke in her house. So we put in, I'm going to say maybe 8 cups?
No, Alice, what the hell?
How much? I think we put in like 4 cups. I lost my video there for a second. Someone called me. We put in like 4 cups maybe of the white flour and maybe 1 or 2 cups of the wheat flour. So now, well, first my mother fed the yeast. So she put the warm water, or she put the yeast in the warm water, and then she added sugar to it because she said you needed to feed the yeast.
See how much sugar I put in now.
A little bit.
Okay, don't say, sugar. I don't, they're going to think I put a lot of sugar in there.
No. And then we put salt in this mixture, and then we put in flour. So like I said, as opposed to measuring exact cups like recipes say, my mother's doing it based on her 85 years. She's going to be 85 in a month on June 18th.
In a month?
Mm-hmm.
In a month?
In a month.
What's today?
What's today? What is today? Today's the 16th. So in a month and 2 days. Today's the 16th.
What month is today?
May.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was June today.
No, what did you think, your birthday's in 2 days? No, today's May 16th.
Is it? Are you sure? I thought it was June already.
No,
No?
we're in May. We just had Mother's Day.
Are you kidding me?
No, so you're making me wonder what day it is now too with this pandemic. No, it's May 16th. So your birthday is in 1 month and 2 days, and you're gonna be 85. So you're making this dough based on you knowing how it's supposed to feel and the texture. Listen, again, it's surprising that I don't know how to make bread because I eat so much bread. That's like the biggest staple for me. So this is the first time I'm making bread, or actually, I'll be correct. The first time I'm watching you make bread because I'm not doing anything. I'm just videoing today. So my mom's going to... Oh. So we're going to take a break because we had to feed the yeast sugar and we need to feed my mother, the beast, coffee. Otherwise, she doesn't work. That's like gasoline for her. So we just made some fresh coffee. She's going to drink that and we'll be back as she continues to knead the dough. You know, Ma, they have a dough machine that has like this dough hook on it. Yeah, I have this machine. This, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It's in a box in my pantry at home. That's a machine, a beater, a blender. No, what is it? A mixer. It's a mixer. And it has a dough hook on it. So as opposed to us doing this. But we're going to do this the right way. So Bob's out of town. He's gone to Oregon to enjoy his life camping while I stay home, babysit Riley, who loves me more. Why are you shaking your head?
Because you're trying to convince yourself.
No, Riley loves me more.
Yeah.
He does. So we're going to do this dough by hand. God help us. Last time we did the pasta dough and I thought that was enough of an exercise for me. So, oh, actually, I think my mother had her coffee ready. So she's ready to start.
I have it here.
Oh, okay. So we'll come back after she has her coffee break. You know, you have like a union representative here for you.
Huh?
It sounds like you have a union representative here to make sure that every so many hours you get a coffee break. I'm going to have to figure that out in this next contract for you. We'll be back. My mother's been arguing with me saying, Alice, if you're supposed to learn to do this, you're supposed to do this, which means put my hands in there. But we saw what happened when I did the noodles, Mom. It didn't work.
What happened?
It took too long. It was just too stressful for everybody.
It's stressful right now.
It's not stressful for me. I'm not doing anything.
That's it. That's it.
But you know what you're doing.
No.
My God. So, my mother knows how to knead this dough. And so before I did this recipe, because I've never made this before and I've never paid attention when she made dough, I looked it up on the internet to see how to make the frisilles besides just buying them. I think my cousin sells them at his store already pre-made, which maybe I should have done that also. But, and it says, first of all, this is a pugliese thing. So have you noticed, Ma, we're doing a lot of dishes that came from Puglia?
No, I didn't notice it.
Okay.
Because I'm not using the recipe, so you might be looking at them. I'm not using them.
No, but so Puglia, they have the Tirale, right? They have the, what do we make from there also? Brujol or something? I can't remember. That was from Bari and the Puglia, that whole episode of which was part of which nation or country or province or state. But this also is from Puglia. So I'm wondering if the people from Pietramelata, Caserta, if they steal food and don't have their... Why are you looking at me like that? Do they not have their own recipes to make things?
So they steal it?
Yeah, they stole it. Because you make this in Pietramelata. So another thing is Dad used to like eating, besides the panzerotti that Zialina made, but what's that pastry? Oh my God. My brain is gone completely blank. I want to say the pasta chotti, but it's not the pasta chotti. You like that. It's the, oh my gosh, I want to say strufoli. The sfrulladelle. So Dad likes the sfrulladelle, the cake type. He'll eat the flaky one, but like the cake type. That's not from Pirmalata either. Did you know that?
It's from Naples. The sfrulladelle is a Napoletano, but I didn't just vote them.
Okay, but you're not from Naples. You're from Caserta. Pirmalata is in Caserta.
Years ago, it used to be Provincia di Napoli. I want you to know, you don't know that.
Okay.
It used to be all the province like that. Then they separated it and became Provincia Caserta. Otherwise, the province it used to be Naples. Okay.
Do you know who's calling?
No.
Look, it's Anna from Genoa.
Yeah, you got a face.
Hold on. We're gonna answer this. This is my cousin Anna. So here we go. Anna.
Anna, mia figlia mi sta pigliando per face a me.
Anna.
Anna, mia figlia mi sta pigliando per face. You understand?
Okay.
I mean, perché mi sta fare la basta, you know, because da fa sopra il telefono là. Mi sta sfotto con il telefonino là.
A video, Anna.
Oh, God.
Tu sei a video. A
Yeah.
video da cucina di Caterina.
Mhm.
Io li guardo tutti.
So allora mi vogliono pure per festa all'Italia allora.
So I'm going to take a break while my mom talks to my cousin
Yeah.
Anna. But what's happening is my cousin is staying in Genoa. She watches my mother's videos, and my
See?
mother says that I'm making her a fool,
Yeah.
not just to the people in the United States, but to them in Italy.
In Italy, too,
So
that's
we'll be
right.
back. I'm gonna let my mom talk to my cousin Anna since my mom's now learning how to use her iPhone.
Yeah, mo mi sto imparando a fare la pasta.
So my mother somehow
Wash your hands again.
what?
I said I'm washing my hands again.
Yes. So my mother calling out washing your hands because I put my hands in the dough without washing them. And I've seen, well, you guys have all seen the dirty looks my mother gives me, but she gave me a big dirty look, so out my hand came. But the thing that she forgot is that I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I should know to have clean hands going into food, but she tried to get me to feel the texture of the dough to see that it's not as hard or firm or whatever you want to call it as the noodle dough, but still, this thing is a workout. Next time, Mom, I'm going to bring my mixer that has
Sure.
the dough, whatever it's called.
You don't have to bring it here. You can do it at your house.
My house is too small, you saw. There's no room to do any of this.
Yeah, there is room. This is not as big as that. Just same size. So don't
It's
worry
not.
about it.
This is wider. This galley
No.
kitchen is wide. Okay, you know what? We're not going to argue. Anyways, so my mother wrangled me into doing some of this dough, kneading it, which is hard work. I think my arm is like,
Oh yeah, falling out.
I was going to say falling out, but it has been exercised. I don't do exercise. I don't. So, okay, so my mom's going to fix the mess that I made of this dough. And again, we use the wheat and the white because this is pugliese style. So, it's from Puglia.
I'm not from Puglia. We used to make it in that too.
So somebody came from there. Somebody came from there and told the people in Pirmalata how to make it.
No, somebody came here and told them my face how to make it.
Okay. So my mother had her conversation with my cousin Anna also, letting her know that today I'm teaching her how to make dough.
Yeah.
We'll come back I think this dough after is going to have to rise. My mother says her dough rises quickly. So half an hour, it's going to rise. Hopefully it'll double in size. Then we'll come to the next step for making these frisilles. The dough grew, as you can see from my pictures. Here it is. So my mother still has it. She didn't think she did, but she still has it. Just a little bit over 45 minutes, I let the dough rise, and here it came. So she says that you have to have warm hands to have the dough rise. Otherwise, it takes a couple hours if you have cold hands. So I have cold hands and cold heart. She has warm hands, cold heart. So this worked for us today. we're gonna test the dough. So she's going to get a knife and pull some out and make pizza fritte. But she doesn't have any cheese to put inside.
Is it okay if I don't use a knife?
Oh. How are you gonna pull out the dough without a knife?
Easy.
Well, I guess we'll see
Looking for
this.
something. Maybe I'm looking for something to put the thing in.
A pan
A dish to put the pizza fritte in.
after they're cooked?
Huh?
After they're cooked? I took the dishes. Here, I'll help you get a dish. So a friend of mine, my mother's godson, John Pupa, actually, Mom, wanted to come and make pizza fritte with you.
When?
Well, when we make pizza fritte. But since we're making pizza fritte as part of this, although we're using mixed dough, I'm laughing because you didn't use a knife. You're just pulling from this poor dough.
Why is it poor?
Well, we're poor, so it belongs to us, so it's poor. But so John likes pizza fritte. Remember, he wanted to start a business, pizza fritte. So maybe that's a good idea how you're doing it versus cutting it with a knife. Maybe you have a few good ideas. So we're making pizza fritte. So for those of you who've seen the pizza fritte that I've made before, my mother graciously said, "Oh, they're good, Alice," but I know they're not good. So this dough is mixed wheat dough with white dough. So what she's doing is she's stretching, and you know what? The dough stretches out also better than when I buy it at Pavilions or Trader Joe's. I don't know why.
With your hands.
Okay, it is me because nothing I touch comes out right. So my mom's going to stretch out some dough. We're not going to fill it with mozzarella. The wheat dough and the flour dough are going to be sweeter also. So we're just going to get them. She's going to fry them. They're going to become nice and crispy, delicious. This will be our lunch. And we'll taste to see if the dough comes out good. And then we will start working on making the frisilles. And
If the dough doesn't look good, then you throw it away.
After all that work, we're not throwing it away. I'm excited to make the frisilles and put olive oil on them and tomato. And I want to try a couple, Mom, with tuna, that Italian tuna, because yes, Mom, I have a taste for it on there. It'll be so delicious because the olive oil from the tuna will soak up in the bread, and then I'll put tomato on it, fresh tomato. I know. And I'll put fresh tomato on it.
I think
So-
the oil is almost ready.
Okay, so we'll take a couple pieces, we'll fry them, and then we will taste the dough. My memory hasn't been good. My mother says that she's losing hers, but it's actually me. So we've tasted the pizza fritte. And okay, so I tasted the pizza fritte, and they taste delicious. And I pulled out the fresh mozzarella that my mother has in the refrigerator. I don't think we've ever made, she dried it, so she squeezed out liquid from it. But I don't think we've ever made pizza fritte with fresh mozzarella.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I don't remember what happens in this house. But my cousin Elio in Italy, when we were there last, my mother and I, he served pizza fritte that on top, he put the fresh mozzarella with fresh tomato, fresh olive oil, seasoning, etc. And it was delicious. So my mom's gonna try it here inside. And then
I made it before. I'm not trying it.
okay. So I'm going to try to see how it tastes, I guess. Anyways, I totally forgot, besides John Pupa, who wanted to make this with my mom, Eric Shapsis, who I grew up with next door, loves my mom's pizza fritte and has his son Jonah and daughter Samantha, who also like the pizza fritte. Is the mozzarella good, Mom? What kind of face is that? So my mother's a snob.
This is too many now.
I know. So I'm gonna call and see if somebody wants some.
No.
So, anyways, Eric likes pizza fritte and made them with my mom, with his kids, 2, maybe 3 years ago now, one time. So I just called, or I texted him and invited him for later this month after his kids are vaccinated to come over, and then, Ma, you gotta make fresh dough again and then make pizza fritte, which actually I like this dough that has the texture of the wheat and the white in it. It tastes much better than the dough that I buy at the grocery store.
No.
So I think I have a new business for you. When I want to have pizza dough, you can make it for me. So Eric, I'm gonna send you this video and we'll see you later this month. You get to cook with Catherine. And Ma, he does have the address still. My mom asked if he still knew the address, which is her way of saying she hasn't seen him in a long time. We had our break of pizza fritte, and we shared. Surprisingly, my mother shared. So she shared with my cousin, and then I ate just about all the rest, and we'll be having all the rest after. So they were delicious. Okay, so now my mother has cut out a piece of dough, and she's going to make it like a bagel. Mom, do you want to make it thicker in the middle?
In the middle?
So that the hole isn't that big? Because remember the picture I showed you had a tiny little hole.
Well, too bad.
Okay then, so there you know how it is when you give somebody suggestions or feedback. So what she's gonna do is go through this entire...
And do you think these are going to be uniformed?
Oh, see, this is why you need a machine.
Yeah.
So my mother's making them into rings and then dough. Then we're going to bake them. They're gonna bake halfway through so that they're nice and soft, but firm on the outside. They're gonna be sliced in half and then put back in the oven on a lower degree heat so that they can double bake themselves. And that's what frizzelles are. So frizzelles are like a hard bread that you can then add different things to. So again, you probably heard me mention that, you know, you wet them real quick to bring the bread back up so that it's a little bit moist. And then you add olive oil, fresh tomato, cheese. I want to put tuna at the canned tuna.
Cheese on it.
Why do you have to give it a look like that?
Because I never put cheese on the Friselle.
I know. So my mother puts oregano, salt, pepper, and fresh tomato sliced. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's at the door?
Nobody.
Oh. So my mother again is like Mrs. Kravitz watching the neighborhood. She saw something out the window. So she's going to make her frizzelle her way. My nephew Robert says that he gets them, excuse me as I'm choking, and dips them in coffee like a cookie. I'm gonna grab the telephone. Robert, remember he says he gets them and he dips them in a coffee. I'll be right back. We're gonna grab the telephone. We made 30 frizzelles, which are gonna make 60 frizzelles because you cut them in half. And my mother has a little bit of dough left. So she asked me what we're gonna do with it. So we're gonna make a pizza. So this is a small pan that she has that she stole from Villa Italia. But you stole it from them.
I did not.
So Villa Italia used to be here in Culver City, the Alfano family. And my mother knew she'll say the old man, meaning the probably grandfather now, if not great-great-grandfather, based on how many kids they have in that family. So they used to make a full-size pizza, and they would bring it to the store, and my mother, they bring it to the store and they bring it to the house. Both. And they would have it not cooked so that my mother could cook it whenever. And they used to put tons of cheese on it. I just loved it. My mother would come with her hand and sweep off at least half of the mozzarella on it because she, my father, and everybody else don't like that much cheese on their pizza. I just would love it. I would like eat the cheese raw. Not that it's raw, but uncooked. Anyways, they would make full-size pizza, and then this is a half-size pizza pan that my mother stole from there because they would make.
I'll use that word again. I did not steal it.
Did you buy it from them?
I didn't buy it. They gave it to me.
No, they gave it to you expecting that you'd return the pan after you ate the pizza.
They just gave it to me.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna call
Go ahead.
Gilda or what are the other sisters? I can't.
One. There's four of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna call one of them.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna ask them if you stole it from them. So anyways, my mother likes the seasoned pans because they cook better. So we have a little pizza. So we're gonna should we make an onion pizza or regular tomato pizza?
I have no idea.
Maybe we'll make regular tomato pizza with fresh tomatoes.
Where is the fresh tomato?
In the backyard. We'll be back. So the next step in the frizzelles is cutting, oh, there's my finger, is cutting them in half. So these frizzelles we just took out of the oven, which is over 400 degrees. I mean, literally, it hasn't been 30 seconds. And my mother, who's very impatient, is touching them with her bare hands and a paper towel, which she's gonna burn her hands one day. So the frizzelles need to be pulled out right now. You can see the steam on the camera. Oh my God. So it's like it's soft bread that just came out of the oven at a restaurant that butter would melt on. and it smells delicious. So each of the Frisilles get cut in half.
You took them all out?
I took them all out. What happened? What's wrong?
Where's the thing
The what?
to pick up?
Oh, I have it. The hot thing, the fingers. But you don't like those, they're too thick. What's going on? Why are you putting them back?
But they could stay there.
Oh my gosh. So my mother doesn't like the hot, or whatever you call the pot holders that are super thick because she doesn't get a good enough grip on things. But
Since I don't like this.
okay, that's fine, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the pizza's cooking in the meantime. Look at that. It fits perfect, the stolen pan fits perfectly in the toaster oven. Delicious. So my mom's tomatoes from her backyard, and the second ball of mozzarella, the one that we used for the pizza fritte. So we put the second one on there. So back to this. So these Frisilles, look how big they are and fluffy. So my mom's cutting them in half. I am gonna try it. So my mom's cutting them in half so that they can get second baked. Again, so that they get hard, and then you can save them and store them. Like these are gonna be lasting anything. And again, you run cold water over them and put whatever seasoning you want on it. So a lot of people get fresh tomato. They'll put olive oil, fresh tomato, oregano, or basil on it. I'm gonna put my can of tuna on it. And I keep promoting that because I just think it's gonna taste really yummy. So once these are done, we'll come back so you can see the texture. But right now, it's like a fresh roll that came out from the bakery or that you're eating at a restaurant. And the dough mom tastes delicious, as you can hear me eating it on the camera. Well, the pizza is done. My mother pointed out that I burned a little bit of it, but it's really not burned, it's just overcooked because I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention as you were cutting the Frisilles in half so they would go in. So the dough is perfect. It rose. Look, it's nice and crispy on the outside, but you could feel it, and it's squishy inside, so it's going to be delicious. So fresh tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, and seasoning. So now that I ate all those pizza frites, now I get to eat the pizza. The Frisilles are done, and now that they're hard, my mother's giving me a piece to break my teeth. So you're not supposed, well, you could eat them hard if you want, but they're supposed to be eaten, so like I said, my nephew, he'll dunk his in either hot chocolate or coffee with milk. I'm going to put mine, everybody knows, I'm going to take these big ones and I'm going to put diced or sliced tomatoes and the Italian tuna in olive oil on mine. My mother will probably put fresh tomato slices or cherry tomatoes and basil on hers. So again, you could do whatever you want with them. They're twice baked, essentially. That's what they are. So quickly run water over them and then put some olive oil and whatever toppings you want, or you can dunk them in your coffee in the morning. So thank you for helping me make these, Mom. And now I'm going to be stingy because these I'm not going to want to share with anybody. So we'll see how many end up being distributed.